Welcome to Everyday Tarot, your daily dive into the divine wisdom of the tarot. I'm your host, Camille A. Saunders, healer, tarot extraordinaire, and your local witch next door. And today I'll be talking about the Two of Pentacles. Whether you're a seasoned tarot reader or just starting to explore, this podcast offers daily insights, intuitive messages, and practical advice drawn from the cards. Each episode is designed to help you connect with your inner wisdom, find clarity in your decisions, and tap into the energy of the universe. Tune in every day, Monday through Friday, for fresh perspectives and empowering guidance from the tarot as interpreted by me. The best way to support the podcast right now is to listen daily, rate, review, and to follow or subscribe in your chosen podcast app. If you're loving the podcast and want to connect with me further, you can check out my Patreon. I'm recording a question and answer episode just for you. You can go to my Patreon and comment with any questions you have for me, things related to the podcast or tarot in general. If you're local to the greater Puget Sound area, you can join me in person Monday, May 12th from 4:45 to 7 p.m. at the Sumner Library for a potluck and to create your own tarot cards. No experience is necessary. I'll bring all the supplies and we'll talk tarot and craft together. If you'd like to be the first to hear about upcoming events, presentations, musings, and info and photos of my day-to-day life, you can sign up here for my weekly newsletter. You'll also get my free PDF with the 2025 5-card tarot spread I created just for you at the beginning of this year when you sign up. If you don't already know, I'm a sex and relationships therapist seeing clients virtually all over Washington State. I love working with queer, poly, and witchy clients who might be struggling with anxiety, chronic pain or illness, communication issues, self-advocacy, and sex. If that sounds like you can reach out and book a free 20-minute consultation with me to see if we're a good fit to work together. You can find the links for any of these offers in the show notes or on my website, CamilleASaunders.com/everydaytarot, in addition to the images of the cards I pull. All right, so we are into season 7 now, where I'm talking all about the Suit of Pentacles. If you haven't listened to my other seasons yet, you can go ahead and check those out. The first season was about tarot basics. Seasons 2 and 3 went through the major arcana and the 4 suits. Season 4, I talked about tarot and pop culture. Season 5, I went through 13 common tarot spreads. And in season 6, I went through all of the Suit of Wands. Like I said, now we're into season 7, talking about the Suit of Pentacles. If you want to hear an episode dedicated to an overview of the whole Suit of Pentacles, you can check out season 3, episode 13. And today we're talking about the Two of Pentacles. So if you have a deck, you can go ahead and search through there and find your Two of Pentacles card. Pentacles are sometimes also called spirals or coins. And pull it out and see what you see. So a lot of the images or symbols that are associated with this card are balancing, grounded, like infinity or circles, and sort of like abundance. So pictures from the decks I talk about today will be on my website and in the show notes as well. So the 3 decks that I'm looking at today are the Goddess of Love Tarot deck by Gabriella Herstick and illustrated by Julia Popescu, the Anima Mundi Tarot deck by Megan Weiwerwenden, and the Desert Illuminations Tarot by Lindsay D. Williams. On the Goddess of Love Tarot deck for this card, there's a lot going on. There's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 2 like heptagrams for the Two of Pentacles there. There's like a yin and yang symbol in the middle, but instead of the sort of traditional colors, it's pink and red, with hearts on either side instead of the circles. And that is just sort of in the theme of this deck, I believe. There's sort of like a cornucopia around the bottom of it, which is why I was thinking about abundance. And then there's a vining plant at the top. I'm not totally sure what it is. And then I think we have Saturn represented as well at the top. And then some emerald gemstones in the background. In the Anima Mundi Tarot deck for this card, the Two of Pentacles, there's 2 pentacles, or sort of coin shapes vertically, one on top of each other. They each have like a crown of laurels style, but instead of just those plants, there's different flowers woven in. Like if you've ever made a wreath for Christmas or anything else where you sort of tuck them around in a circle, that's what it kind of reminds me of. And then, let's see, and there's a lot of different colors on there. There's also a snake winding through. And snakes are often depicted like the Ouroboros, which is the snake like eating its own tail. So sort of, again, that like circular infinity aspect of it. Snakes are often about rebirth or transformation. Think of how they shed their skins. And then in the last tarot deck card we're looking at is the Desert Illuminations Tarot. On this one, there is like an alien sitting cross-legged, like you might do in yoga, and then they sort of are holding two cactus in either hand. So in this deck, the pentacles are translated into cactus, and they sort of look like peyote, if you know what that looks like, where it's like a little circle, like a button sort of cactus, and they're sort of holding it in either hand, and then they actually have like the infinity symbol wrapped between the two, or the sort of aspect of like what would look almost like a belt with holding either end, or like a rubber band, and they're sitting like up high on this stump. There's like a UFO in the background, actually two, and they look sort of at peace, but also there's like one hand above the other one, so they're sort of like balancing again, or sort of that, like, they look very grounded, right? They're on the stump, they're sitting there in this sort of casual cross-legged position. We see sort of a landscape in the background, but also there is this like balance motif in front of them. So in the Library of Esoterica tarot book by Toshin, they talk about that the Two of Pentacles is all about flexibility and adaptability. So the Two of Pentacles encourages an agile, fluid approach to life, asking us to take on a multitude of tasks with a balanced calm. All right, and in my tarot and astrology book by Karine Kenner, they talk about that the Two of Pentacles is associated with Jupiter and Capricorn. All work and no play makes Jax a dull boy, but Jupiter is going to make sure that no one gets bored. When Jupiter visits the first decan of Capricorn, it shakes up the structure of the Saturnine world and welcomes and provides a welcome diversion from rules and regulations. Jupiter, of course, is the happy-go-lucky wheel of fortune. Here in the Devil's 10th house of career and social service, the greater benefic seems a little out of place. In fact, Jupiter is in its fall in Capricorn, something of an unwelcome guest. He has a lot of work to do to get Capricorn to lighten up. Given the resistance he faces, the best he can do is to get Capricorn to jingle the coins in his pocket, try a little sleight of hand, and practice juggling his resources. Ultimately, Jupiter might even be able to bring out the devil-may-care aspect of Capricorn's otherwise serious personality. The Golden Dawn designers of this card called Jupiter and Capricorn the Lord of Harmonious Change, because the benefic Jupiter makes, changes and material improvements happen smoothly and unobtrusively. The young man might need to spend money with one hand, but Jupiter will ensure that he can make money with the other. In tarot reading, the Two of Pentacles often represents a balancing act, the constant struggle to balance time and money, work and pleasure, and personal and professional obligations. His act may be time-consuming, but sometimes it's also performed for the benefit of an audience, who may or may not be appreciative of his time, talent, or trouble. And the first decan of Capricorn usually falls between December 22nd and 30th, when the sun is between 0 and 10 degrees Capricorn. All right, and in the Fearless Tarot deck book by Elia Adam, How to Give a Positive Reading in Any Situation, they talk about that the Two of Pentacles represents juggling unexpected events. It's all about with flexibility. These experiences aren't good or bad, they're merely unpredictable. The infinity symbol binding the two coins represents the eternal truth that life does not always go according to plan. The juggler on the card survives the undulations of fortune because he remains flexible and adaptable. This is symbolized by the boats that remain afloat amid the tumultuous waters that are in the background of the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith card. How do you respond when things don't go according to plan? Do you get angry or become resistant? Are you able to retain your good humor? The juggler depicted on the Two of Pentacles is an entertainer. He takes life's lemons and makes lemonade. He transforms the troubles life sends him into entertaining, teachable moments to uplift himself and others. The Two of Pentacles reminds us not to fight the waves life hurls at us, but rather to float above them. The symbolism of the Two of Pentacles links it with two major arcana cards, the Magician, another juggler with an infinity symbol, and the Wheel of Fortune, the unpredictable ups and downs of life. In early French texts, the magician was even called the batelier or the juggler. Like the magician, the juggler depicted here is in control of his response to the unpredictable motions of the Wheel of Fortune. The Two of Pentacles encourages you to ride the waves instead of fighting them. Let unexpected eventualities roll off your back. Learn to laugh at them and use them to stretch your own mind. You can juggle anything life sends your way with transcendent grace and ease. The Two of Pentacles can also indicate a juggling of finances. Transferring energy or assets flexibly will restore harmony. All right, so let's dive in and see what the cards have to say today on this topic of balance and flexibility. I'm actually going to go ahead and pull from my newest deck, which is actually not a tarot deck. It is called the Citadel, a Fantasy Oracle. I just got it over the weekend in Denver. It's beautiful, but I'm still getting to know it. So I want to take a look at this. And I realize these are not tarot cards, but let's kind of see, let's get into what they might have to say to us today. So we're going to be thinking about how do we have balance and flexibility with the ups and downs of life. How do we ride the waves, right? Metaphorically and perhaps symbolically, financially, as things move and shift throughout our day. All right. I pulled the Priest, which is about perseverance and faith. And there is a book to go with this. So I'm going to pull that. Let's see here. So in this deck, all the cards are like different people, and there's sort of like, if you think of like a city or like a sort of royal city, you have sort of different echelons of people. You have sort of like the royalty, and then you have like the commoners, and the priest here is in, I think, that second realm. I'm just going to look real quick. Yeah, so they are part of the academy, which is all about development and growth. Okay, so the priest says, silence fills the temple, warm and welcoming in its perfect hush. The priest turns their face to the sunlight, waiting for the gathering of the faithful. No matter what challenges are in the priest's life outside of these walls, there is hope to be found in every challenging situation. They just need the courage to persevere and will that hope into existence. A difficult challenge has come and gone, and in its place is a promise of a new dawn. Within you is everything that you need to bring about your happiness. You are resilient, and every tragedy brings an important lesson. Have faith, and you will be rewarded. All right. Well, that is exactly in line with what we were talking about today, right? So this is sort of just like a doubling down on this card, which is that, right, we're going to have challenges come up. Maybe a big one has recently come and gone, and we're sort of moving into a new era or a new dawn, right, into something new. And we have everything we need to bring about our happiness. We're resilient. And, right, perhaps in the end, we're going to have lessons that we learn from the things that have passed on. And so we're going to have faith, and we will be rewarded. All right. Well, thanks for joining me today on Everyday Tarot. Links for the tarot decks I use will always be in the show notes on my website if you'd like to look at them or purchase them. And thanks for joining me today. Just as a reminder, the podcast comes out daily, Monday through Friday for all of 2025. All right. See you soon. Bye-bye.